So Arsenal's now making transfer moves for a couple players. They're making a move for Tammy Abraham. Obviously, Ben White might be coming through. There's other names out there. Manuel Locatelli. Hopefully, I'm praying Arsenal can get them in. But you know what? Let's just jump into Arsenal's transfer news. Make sure you guys like my video, share my video, drop your comments in the comment section below. Or for those of you who are soccer fans for the United States, football fans for the UK, hit the subscribe button as well. Obviously, my main go-to is boxing, but big Arsenal fan here. With all this transfer stuff going on, you said, you know what? Let me start making videos on Arsenal's transfer. So let me jump into it, man. First time I'm jumping into it. Transfer weekly, transfer daily, whatever you want to call it. Arsenal, what is Arsenal doing? Let's jump into it. First of all, apparently Arsenal's moving to try and sign, what's his name? Chelsea's Tammy Abraham. Which is interesting because really, where does that leave if Arsenal's to sign Tammy Abraham and they're saying 40 million, where does that leave Arsenal's current players? Obviously, you've got players like Eddie Nketiah, you've got Folarin and Balogun, you've still got Aubameyang's obviously still there, you've got Lacazette, you've got Martinelli. Where does Tammy Abraham fit into this equation? Is it going to be a low move? Because obviously they're talking about 40 million. And how does Tammy Abraham really fit in Arsenal's plans? Do they really see him growing at the club? Obviously, I saw somewhere that he's an Arsenal fan, so maybe he might personally be keen on the move, considering I assume Chelsea are going to be making moves in the transfer market. They've still got players like Timo Werner in there. Obviously, Olivier Giroud, he moved to AC Milan, so you would think that Tammy Abraham's got an opportunity to really show his worth, but Chelsea seem open to getting rid of him, maybe to try and make space for a further attacking player, because maybe Chelsea, obviously after their success in the Champions League, maybe they want to push for Premier League honours, and they don't think that Tammy Abraham is really, the kind of players that they need in the squad that's going to help take them to the next level. Maybe that's what their thoughts. We all know Chelsea get the trophies. If they ain't get the trophies, we'll get rid of the manager. We don't think they'll get rid of it. They don't care. It's whatever it needs to take to get the trophies. Roman Abramovich is on job. So maybe they want to offload him to Arsenal. And the fact they want to give him to Arsenal is the fact that if they're happy for him to come to Arsenal, it must mean they don't really value him and they don't even really think he's that great. But maybe Mike Artetas has seen something in Tammy Abraham that maybe Chelsea are not seeing. My only question is, where does Tammy Abraham fit into Arsenal in terms of the squad and the players that we've already got? Maybe Arteta's thinking likely that Lacazette could be leaving, and also Eddie Nketiah could be leaving before the transfer market is closing. Which these are the rumors that we're seeing around. So maybe anticipating Lacazette's move off and anticipate Eddie Nketiah's move off. Maybe he wants to quickly get in a Tammy Abraham. And to be honest, if I had to pick between Eddie Nketiah and Tammy Abraham, I'm taking Tammy Abraham, because Tammy Abraham did have a lot of purchase. He had a lot of purchase. What season was it? Was it the 2019 to 2020 season? I think it was, Was it? I think it was. Like, he had a lot of... He started scoring quite a few goals. Just when, Chelsea weren't able to sign nobody, and obviously Lampard was there, and Tammy Abraham really stepped up and he even got into the England squad for a couple friendlies, I think. So if Arsenal can get, if Arteta and can get Tammy Abraham on job, Tammy Abraham can get firing, I don't mind having him in the team. I'd rather have him there than Eddie Nketiah. No offense, obviously Eddie Nketiah, for England under 23s, I'm very sure he's going to be a prospect in future, but I just don't think he's really had the purchase at Arsenal thus far, and I suspect it is either they're going to sell him or loan him out, and maybe they'll loan him out just to see how it goes, how he performs maybe with another club. But overall, it's going to be interesting to see if Arsenal sign Tammy Abraham, how he really fits into Arsenal's squad. Manuel Locatelli as a Swallow, obviously he's an Arsenal target. Locatelli wants to play for Juventus, man. Locatelli don't want to play for Arsenal. So does Arsenal really want to sign a player that doesn't really want to play for Arsenal? If he comes to Arsenal, it's just mainly because Arsenal's a good name and Juventus can sign him for the fee or whatever, and the salary is better. But the guy wants to play for Juventus. He looked good. He's been playing good for Sassuolo. He looked good in the Euros for Italy and playing in that central midfield role alongside Verratti and Barella. He looked fantastic. So if Arsenal was to sign him, I would not complain. In fact, for the midfielders that Arsenal are looking at, I really want Manuel Locatelli, considering Granit Xhaka is probably going to be on his way out to potentially Roma. I believe the deal hasn't really been done, so we need to wait and see what happens with it if he really does go to Roma. But I believe he will be leaving Arsenal Football Club, Granit Xhaka. So Locatelli would be a fantastic signing. It's an Italian international. You can't be an Italian international if you don't have no purchase in your game. And I would like to see Locatelli sign for Arsenal. Whether it happens or whether Arsenal can get over the line remains to be seen. But obviously, Locatelli would love to stay in Italy and play for arguably the biggest club alongside guys like Ronaldo. You know, who don't want to play with Ronaldo, man? Locatelli, I can understand why Locatelli wants to go play for arguably the biggest club in Italian football right now. What else is happening? Transfers out. Joe Willock, you know, what does it say here? Newcastle are lining up potential alternatives to Joe Willock. What else does it say? This is according to Athletic, who report the Magpies are eyeing deal on Ross Barkley. Okay, Newcastle want to try and move for Ross Barkley. That's not bad. He said, but Gunners Mikota has admitted he wants to keep 21-year-old after. Yeah, man, I think we should look at keeping Joe Willock to see what he can do, because he looked great, man, for Newcastle. Plenty of purchase over there. He had, you know, scoring goals. Midfielder scoring goals, man. So it's very interesting if he can bring that energy over to Arsenal. Maybe he can force his way into Mike Arteta's first, you know, starting 11 plans, but remains to be seen. He says Granit Xhaka moved to Roma. It could be in peril, because I was just talking about Granit Xhaka just now. Serie A giants are struggling to agree on a fee. Said the North Londoners want 20 million euros, but you know, Roma have yet to meet their demands. So Roma, obviously, maybe how old is Granit Xhaka now? Because he's been playing for years, man. Probably like 30, approaching 30 now. Is he 30 already? You know, they're looking at his age. They're like, listen, Xhaka's good, yeah, but he's not the be all and end all. We've got other options. If we sign a player, let it be let it match the money. You know what we're saying? Like, Xhaka ain't been the greatest at, you know, at Arsenal. Obviously, he's had fantastic moments, you know, but you know, if you look at the spectrum, if Xhaka kept his consistency, it would have been a lot better. But you know, Roma are struggling. They don't really want to agree on the fee, and if they don't agree on the fee, is Xhaka going to end up staying at Arsenal? And does that have a knock-on effect on whether Arsenal want to move for Locatelli? There's also rumours about moving for Ruben Neves. Renato Sanchez was chatting to Gabriel talking about Gabriel telling him come to Arsenal. Sanchez was like, you know, they should basically contact me, you know, get in touch or whatever. But Gabriel moving like the Arsenal's in-between agent, you know, doing Edu's job. But we have to wait and see what happens, man. That could have a domino effect on whether Arsenal move for certain players, you know. But, you know, we also have to see if there's any other clubs that come through for Xhaka. He had a fantastic tournament for Switzerland, so it could be interesting to see what happens with him. Lacazette, Alexander Lacazette. Obviously, he played in that friendly against, who scored against Millwall in that friendly. I think, does he have 1 year left on his deal? I think Arsenal might be looking to cash in on him. I don't think they want to let him go for free. But as I said before, are they moving for Tammy Abraham to be a replacement for Lacazette? Is Tammy Abraham better than Lacazette? You know, for me, I prefer Arsenal to move for a notable name. You see how Man United signed Cavani? You know, I'm looking for guys that have, you can see a record. Like, obviously, there's not that many players out there, but, you know, there's guys like, what's his name? Alexander Isak, Real Sociedad. He had a pretty good Euros. Scored like 17 goals out there for Real Sociedad. I think he scored against Real Madrid. Obviously, I think Real Sociedad is demanding like 60 million. Arsenal going to pay 60 million for a 21-year-old. Is Alexander Isak better than Tammy Abraham? I think he is at this point in terms of the stats. The stats don't say otherwise. So, should Arsenal really be looking at Alexander Isak, a young replacement for Lacazette? You know, or should Arsenal put more faith in Folarin Balogun potentially? But these are all things that let me not be doing Arteta's job. These are all things Mike Arteta needs to think about in terms of, and Edu, in terms of what happens with Lacazette. Ben White, centre back, 50 million. That looks like that's going to get over the line. Ben White moving from Brighton. If he can come over Arsenal, get fantastic performances in, he might be able to get maybe a spot on that, England starting 11. Who knows? Because when Harry Maguire got that move got that move to Man United, now he's really taken off. So maybe that could, Ben White, it could be a similar thing. Wait and see what happens with that one. Maitland-Niles, interesting to see what happens with him. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Ramsdale, goalkeeper, joke business, because Arsenal got rid of what's his name. Look at how what's his name, Martinez. At the the Copa America, fantastic performance, goalkeeper of the tournament. We got rid of him, and now we're struggling looking for a second goalkeeper to find. Looking at Ramsdale, man, they need to sort that nonsense out. Isco, also be moved for Isco. I don't really want none of these old players. I'm looking for younger guys who can really come in, really have a longer future with Arsenal. So this is pretty much the news thus far. Obviously, there's been news about James Maddison, which will probably cost over 60 million plus to get done. It will be a good move for Arsenal to get Maddison in attacking midfield. But is it really going to happen since they've given Emil Smith-Rowe number 10? Is that signs Arsenal aren't looking at, Maddison? They're going to try and sit down and get, Emil Smith-Rowe to be the main guy. If Emil Smith-Rowe has a fantastic season, he might well be able to get into that England squad for the World Cup. Remains to be seen, but that's my overall roundup for Arsenal's current transfer news. I'm going to be checking out next week to see what's going on. Any new names, any new transfer, any new business. Let's see what happens, man. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me see what you guys are saying about this one. Cool.